I'm not a big fan of the middle.
Time to welcome our final team, the 2024 Sioux Falls Regional and the NCAA Men's Ice Hockey Championships, the Mavericks from Omaha. They're the 3 seed in these championships, making their 5th NCAA tournament appearance, and their first since 2021. UNO was led by head coach Mike Gabinet, who's now in his 7th season in charge of his alma mater. Joined up on the dais with Mike is graduate senior forward captain Nolan Sullivan and junior forward Zach Urdahl. We will begin the press conference, as always, with the opening statement from head coach Gabinet. Then we'll open up questions to the floor for our student athletes. Once we've wrapped up with that, we'll allow Zach and Nolan to head back to the locker room and we'll ask questions for coach. So, Mike Gabinet, opening statement.
Yeah, we're really excited to be here. It's an honor to be in the NCAA tournament and just really proud of the group. We worked extremely hard to get to this point and really proud of how the guys have prepared and played to get us to this point and excited to be here.
As always, if you have a question for our student athletes, please raise your hand and then state your name and your affiliation.
Jess Meers from the Rink Live. Nolan, I know your coach is very sensitive about giving away the game plan, but after last weekend, is it simple as get it to Zach?
Yeah, for me it is. No, Zach makes life easy. It's been really fun playing with him. Great speed from him and Miller. So the harder I can play down low defensively and get the puck up to those guys, the more success we're going to have.
Scott Serenity, College Hockey West. Nolan, for you. We keep doing this every different place, but what's it like here at the Denny to be able to get ready for an NCAA regional?
Yeah, I think it's a great spot. It's exciting to be able to host and see so many familiar faces from Omaha. I think being so close to home, we're going to have a great turnout from our fans, and playing a team like Minnesota who travels pretty well. I think it's going to be a pretty exciting atmosphere tomorrow night, and we can be more excited to get things going.
Grant Sweeter, Kelland Sports here in Sioux Falls. Zach, you're playing a team that was in the national championship last year. You know, you're playing one of the best teams in the country. You know, how do you kind of approach that, you know, and focus on what you guys are trying to do while at the same time trying to take away what they do?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the focus is on us and what we're doing. Out competing and out detailing teams is what we do best, and so there's obviously a focus on them and a pre-scout and what they're doing, but a lot of it's focus on our game and make sure we're doing what we need to do to win.
Zach, what are you doing? I mean, have you switched breakfast cereals or something like that? What's gotten into you lately?
You know, I don't know. The puck's been finding me lately, and you know, I'm just trying to make the most of the opportunity. So, you know, obviously playing with Sully wins a lot of faceoffs, and he gets you the puck, which is always good, and I think that's leading to a lot of success.
For either one of you, I don't know how much in hockey it makes much of a difference, but you guys have played in the Premier Center already this year. Does that help a little bit, you know, being a little more familiar with the area? Does it not make any difference at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice whenever you get to play at a spot beforehand, but I know a lot of guys probably play here during junior hockey as well, playing in the USHL. So I think there's a lot of familiarity with the rink in the area, but it was definitely fun playing Augustana here earlier in the season to get some familiarity. And once again, honestly, just getting our fans up here to experience it prior to the tournament. So, you know, there's a lot of excitement in Omaha just to get people here and to experience this venue.
Nolan, a couple years ago, Minnesota ended your season at this level, and Zach, you're from Western Wisconsin, a former Badger. Does the blood boil a little bit more when you see that maroon and gold? I mean, does that kind of add a little extra incentive?
Yeah, I think it's exciting. You know, I was texting Casey Middlesat the other day, just having his 2 younger brothers being on the team. It's kind of funny just growing up with their family and getting to battle those guys too. So I think for me, it's exciting every time you get to play a big name team like Minnesota, and I think having them be the team to take us out sophomore year, you know, it's fun to get another opportunity, another crack at going at them. But as Ertz was alluding to, holy cow, just like the focus has been on us and just improving our team and making sure we're just taking each day to get better.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I played them the past 2 years with being at Wisconsin. Probably, I think 8 times we played them. So, you know, played against a lot of those guys for a few years now, and you know, it's always exciting, you know, when we had the border battle a couple years ago there. So it'll be an exciting game, and I think we're ready to go for it.
Any other questions for our student athletes? Nolan, Zach, thanks guys. You guys are
Thank you.
excused. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. Good job, fellas.
We'll open things up now for questions for head coach Mike Gabinet.
Grant Sweeter, Kelland Sports here in Sioux Falls. Mike, kind of asked the players about it too. I mean, you know, you're going up this time of year, you're used to facing a good team, but you're facing Minnesota, a team that was just in the national championship. I mean, just open-ended, what do you kind of see from the Golden Gophers in what makes them good?
Yeah, like obviously, like you said, they were in the championship game last season for a reason. They got a good team. They're a strong team again, very, very talented roster, lots of good players on the other side there. But again, for us, it's a little bit of what we're used to seeing. I mean, if you look at our last 7-8 games, they're against a top, 5 in the pairwise or 10 pairwise with CC and North Dakota and Denver. I think we've had North Dakota for 3 and Denver. So it's something we're familiar with, playing a good opponent there and know what we have to do to be successful. So really just looking forward to the challenge. I think at the end of the day, it's at this time of year, you're going to play a good opponent and just kind of taking that challenge head on and being ready to go on Thursday.
Mike, how much was your team kind of stung by the game against Denver, and what do you have to do to kind of get the groove back here, get them back feeling good about themselves going into a one and done situation now?
Yeah, it always hurts to lose. I mean, it always hurts to lose. You're playing to compete and win, and obviously, it was a tough loss in a championship game. It's hard to get there. So when you're there, you want to take home the trophy for sure. But you also have to remind the guys just how hard it was to get there. And I mean, it's a 2-1 game with 4 minutes left, and thought we were pretty solid there throughout the game until the very end there. So, you have to take the positives out of it, but you also have to learn from it too. And I think that's what we've been doing all season long, is taking the feedback from the game. And there's some things we could have done better, looking back at the video and learning. And I think that was our focus there on Tuesday and Monday when we got back to the rink, is just how do we keep improving from that? How do we learn from that experience? And I think some of those, getting to a championship game, going through those hard situations, I think it also helps prepare you for these situations. So all in all, I think it was a positive experience for our group to go through, and we have to take that feedback and keep getting better.
Mike, you kind of mentioned it on my last question. I know the players mentioned it too, but they talked about, and you've talked about, playing your guys and focusing on you guys and the way you guys play. How key is that? I mean, obviously you look at Minnesota and try to take it away, but how key is it to just focus on the Mavericks and make sure you're playing your best?
I think it's always got to start there. I think at the end of the day, you always have to make sure you start with your own group and how you're going to do things internally and how you're going to play with your habits and your details. And then you gotta be conscious of the opponent and how they like to play and what makes them successful, what drives their offense, how do they susceptible on defensively, and when you kind of combine those, that's one thing I think our team's done a really good job all season long of winning some of these big games, is really having that internal focus on us, but also having a game plan for what we're going to do against a certain opposition there. So you got to combine the two and be ready to go.
Like we all know about the Mavericks fan base, what are you hearing from folks in town, and how much red and black do you expect tomorrow?
Well, it was great. I know when we were up here earlier in the season to play Augustana, like lots of people got to travel up and watch the game, which was great to see. And obviously being up at the Excel there last weekend was awesome to see how many, fans and parents and everybody were there to celebrate the big win on Friday. So that makes it special, right? It's, these are hard things to get to. And when you get to something like this, the first thing you want to do is celebrate it with the people around you and that have helped support you all this time to get to this position you're in today. So really important that that we made it here and it's so close to home, and now we get a chance to give our fans something to cheer about. It's pretty special.
Austin Rush from Omaha. Coach, obviously it's a business trip, but what's the excitement level of the team just to be here? I mean, the logo's on the ice, kind of like home. Can you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's just an exciting time. The guys get some different swag and they get to get involved with some different activities, which is pretty neat, and things like this, right? So it's exciting. And I also think too that, it's been kind of like that for the last few weekends here with quarterfinals, the semifinals, the finals. So it's nice that I think our guys are getting a little bit used to it too, which is a positive. So really excited for them to enjoy every moment of it.
Mike, I know you guys have been to Sioux Falls before, but we've heard good things about the Premier Center from an outside Sioux Falls perspective. What what kind of atmosphere does the Premier Center bring to an NCAA tournament?
Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. I think just when you look at the stands and just the facility around it, they've done a great job. And I know our staff there from Omaha that's hosting's, really had a nice relationship with the people here to work together to make the best event possible. And I think just from the way we've been treated to the way everything's organized has been top notch.
Any other questions for Coach Gabinet? All right, with that, we will conclude today's press conference. My best of luck
Okay,
tomorrow.
thank you.
Mike Gabinet and the Mavericks will take on Minnesota in our second semifinal tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Central. Thanks for attending. Go to the replay.